That's going a bit far, don't you think? Jesus Christ, are you trying to put me out of business?
Just supporting you. Aren't you always complaining about not having enough time to practice your music?
Yes, my therapist says that, and meditation helps calm me.
Wednesdays at Unity of Louisville, Kaleidoscope Spirituality will be hosting drum circles, crystal bowls, healing circles, and sing-alongs.
That does sound interesting. I've been getting bored with judging others and punishment.
Starting January 2nd
Rob.
at Wednesdays at 7 o'clock.
So, if you see me do this, you know what I'm doing. So, all right, enough of that. And if it was a little too reverent for you, we apologize.
Please stand and join us for our opening Christmas carol, Joy to the World.
Joy to the world, the Christ is come. Let earth with praises ring. Let every heart prepare a room, and heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let us our songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. God rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of the ways of peace, and wonders of God's love, and wonders of God's love, God's wonders, wonders of God's love.
Thank you, and you may be seated. Unity is an inclusive, compassionate, prosperous spiritual community, seeing the infinite possibilities in each and every person. So one of our favorite things to do is to acknowledge anybody who's here for the very first time. So if you're a first-time visitor, would you just raise your hand as I'm raising my hand? So we got a few people, and you got a couple people down here also. Just keep your hands up for a second so that they can get to you. So there is a packet of information being given. Nope, Shirley, keep going. Keep going. There you go. All right. There's a packet of information being given to you, and that packet has some information about the Unity movement, about this Unity Church. There is a card that if you take it downstairs to our welcome desk, we do have a gift for you. There is also a candle that we are giving to you, which is a gift from the congregation, partly so that we can recognize you after the service and answer any of your questions and be extremely nice to you, but also as a way of reminding you, there is an affirmation that says, as you light this candle, remember that that light already shines within you, and all that's important, but we want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. We welcome you. We bless you. We behold the living presence of God in you. Can we welcome our first-time guests? And as that welcoming community, we also like to welcome each other. I always say you can do that in a variety of ways. We can do it with a handshake or a simple blessing. We can do it with a hug, but let's honor the other person. And what I say is, put your arms out if you don't know the person, and if they approach you to hug you, hug them. But if they put their hand out, shake their hand. So let's go ahead and greet each other.
to the world, the Christ is come. Let earth with praises ring. Let every heart prepare a room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let us our songs employ. With fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. God rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of the ways of peace, and wonders of God's love, and wonders of God's love, and wonders of God's love.
Thank you, and you may be seated. So we'd like to anchor our service with an affirmation, and today's affirmation is the affirmation of joy. So let us say this one together. Together. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I am God's joy. Yes, you are. And now as we move into a time of prayer and meditation with the singing of the Lord's Prayer, know that there will be a time of silence at the conclusion of the Lord's Prayer as our oneness blessers and energy workers bless the gathered.
Teach us thy children evermore to love thee. Thy will be done in earth as heaven today. Teach us thy children evermore to love thee. Thy will be done in earth as heaven today. Oh, give us grace to meet the coming morning.
Amen. A reading for the fourth Sunday in Advent. Joy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I am God's joy. Charles Fillmore's The Revealing Word tells us that joy is the happiness of God expressed through humankind. Because I am God's living expression, joy is my birthright, part of my nature. The Revealing Word also reminds us that gladness gives us strength, primarily when we focus on spiritual things. I am an open channel of God's love and joy when family and friends gather. This is a time of joy and love, of caring and compassion, of opening my mind and heart, my very soul, to the divine. Joy is a divinely inspired attitude I take with me into every experience of my life. I share my attitude with everyone I meet as the divine happiness in me recognizes itself in them. I gratefully affirm, the joy of the Lord is my strength. I am God's joy. Nehemiah 8:10. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And so it is.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, child of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord
And now I invite you to become still and to center into your heart space. And if you're ready, I invite you to close your outer eyes. And take a deep breath in and exhaling. Take another deep breath in and breathe in joy. And exhale. And more deep breath as we center into that space where we connect with the divine, allowing ourselves to be present only in this moment for rest, renewal, and regeneration. We are open and receptive to the joy, to the celebration of life, right here, right now. Knowing that each of us is blessed, just as Jesus was blessed. We are here to do many, many mighty things. We just allow ourselves to be present to that indwelling spirit. Allowing ourselves to connect to the divine. Feeling the energy moving through our body. Reaching out to those around you. Blessing them with joy, with love, with peace. And coming back into your own space. And being still. And as you take a breath and return to this beautiful, beautiful place, filled with joy, filled with love, filled with life, that is your truth. Allow that joy to move in and through you, radiating joy to all those that you love, to all those that you do not know. And we send that joy outward, embracing every soul, celebrating life together as one. And so it is. Amen.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Swing in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand what I'm here for and what this life is about.
It's about love.
It's about laughter. It's about comfort and smiles. It's about love. It's about kindness. It's about hearts open wide. It's about love. It's about passion. It's about taking a chance. It's about love. It's about service. It's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There is a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love. It's about laughter. It's about comfort and smiles. It's about love. It's about kindness. It's about hearts open wide. It's about love. It's about passion. It's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. 15 errors. Thank you.
Thank you, John, Robin, and Phil. You know, when I knew that I was going to be doing joy, and then Phil said, well, John's singing, that brought joy to my heart. I don't know about you, so. So we conclude Advent this week, and again, like I said before, Advent's not a unity teaching. Advent's not even really a Christian teaching. It's actually just kind of a made-up, which is most of these series things that we make up, to focus our attention. I think it's actually a very wise thing. It focuses our attention during this holiday it's easy for me to say. This holiday season, it just focuses our attention in a different way. It focuses on the spiritual nature of the season without distracting us from the other things, the parties and the gift giving and stuff. But so often, at least in my life in the past, it's been that I get so focused on the material, I get so focused on the external things going on, the work and the busyness, that I lose sight, I lose focus on that mystery. I I lose sight and the focus on that awe and that bringing in and bringing that attention to that awareness of the Christ awareness birthing in me once again. And so when we focus our attention, it brings us to today, which brings us to joy. Joy, that unbridled, unedited, unrestrained by the ego concerns, just plain joy. The joy of a beautiful baby's smile. Any mothers out there or fathers who look at a brand new baby in the crib and the baby's smiling and gurgling, and there's just a joy in your heart, but a joy in that baby's heart. That type of joy. Jesus said, "These things I have spoken to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy be made full." And Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God." So we started our journey in Advent by thinking around faith and imagining what our lives would be like if we truly lived from that Christ consciousness, from that truth of our being, and knowing because we imagine it, because we thought it, we have the faith to make that true. We have the faith to step out and begin to participating differently. And how do we participate differently? Jerry told us about that we participate from that consciousness of love, that unconditional love, that we express it out towards everyone, but more importantly, we also express it inward towards ourselves. How often, in my case, I can love you unconditionally. Me, I have a lot of trouble with. And then from that place of love, we have a peace that Scripture says passes all understanding, which brings us to that place of joy, where we experience that joy in our life. And the interesting thing is we do that even in the midst of our struggles. We can do that even in the midst of all the circumstances and conditions that seem to face us. I have to admit, and I've said this before, I struggle at the holiday times. I struggle at Easter, I struggle at Christmas, I struggle at Thanksgiving, I struggle at holiday times, and immerse myself in work and immerse myself in stuff and things so that I don't have to deal with it. I'm doing better than I used to, but it's a pretty deep shadow, and I recognize it as a shadow, but I don't know how to eradicate it because I can't really find the source of the shadow, because my Christmases growing up were great. We weren't very wealthy, but my parents always made Christmas a time of great joy. I even remember my mom, even towards the end of her life, when I was working in retail, she would send me the Christmas cookies that she would make. And I can't eat 6 boxes of Christmas cookies. You know, it's like I have enough trouble with my little poochie belly here. So my employees, after about 7 years, would be like, "When's Mom's cookies coming?" And, you know, she wouldn't even send them to home anymore. She would send them right to work. So my Christmases were great. My holidays were great. So I don't know where that shadow came from, but I know as I got older, I have the power of choice. I have the power to do something different. Rather than just sit in my knowledge of my stuff and go, well, I think I'm just going to sit here and not enjoy myself and be in my stuff. I have the power to make a different choice. I can choose joy. I can set aside the darkness that seems to want to invade, and I can choose joy. And I have a real simple teaching on that one. You just fake it till you make it. You just act joyful, and you know our brains aren't that linear side of your brain's not that smart, really. If you do something long enough, it just figures that's the truth, and so it lives out of that, you know. It's like, so I just start acting joyful. I start finding things to create joy in my life, and all of a sudden my brain's going, well, I thought I was depressed, but I guess I wasn't, so I'll just be joyful. Because we have that power of joy. That's why joy is one of my core values. In fact, it's probably my number one core value. I don't always know if I'm experiencing the peace that passes all understanding. I think I am sometimes, but I don't know, because then my intellect and my ego gets involved and it wants to try to, well, are you this peace or that peace? And then I'm not in the peace anymore. I don't know that I always walk by faith. I oftentimes get caught in circumstances, in conditions, and trying to figure things out, because I'm a guy. I always want to figure things out. So sometimes I don't walk by faith. I get caught in the circumstances. And I don't know that I'm always acting in unconditional love. I like to think I do, but then something will come up that will remind me that I need to maybe elevate it. Robin and I were coming in on Friday night for a group, and a woman came up. And she had 2 teeth missing, and I'm used to it in this neighborhood. And she came up and went, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't carry any cash with me. And she said, I don't want your cash. She says, I just wanted your prayers. She says, we're opening up Wayside Christian Mission for some of these people who've been displaced from under the bridges, that they have a place to go to, and I want your help in telling people about it. And I don't need your I don't need your money. I need your prayers, and I need your help in telling people. And I'm like, oh, man, what a wake-up call. I had moved into a place of judgment. So I don't always know that I'm working from that place of unconditional love. But I do know when I'm in a place of joy. And I know when I'm not in that place of joy that I got work to do. I got something to do. I got something to shift. So joy becomes my benchmark. And usually when the benchmark pops up, it usually means I get to go back to one of the other 3. I need to look at what I'm not doing or thinking or being right. So one of my earliest spiritual teachers said, when you're in doubt, when I'm not in joy, I take the attention off me and I focus out. First one is I just start looking for places to be grateful. Just looking for places that I can hold gratitude. I was standing outside just enjoying the day after the 9 a.m. service, and a gentleman came up, remembering my Friday night experience. I wasn't defensive, and he just walked up and says, I just wanted to say good morning and Merry Christmas. I said, well, good morning and Merry Christmas to you. Would you like to come in for a cup of coffee? No, I'm on my way. Thank you very much. And I was so grateful. Here's a guy I've never met before, never will meet again, who just wants to wish me a good day. Looking for things to make me grateful. Watching my cat play with her new cat toy is always funny. Or crawling up inside the Christmas tree, which also causes a little stress that she's going to fall down, but that's okay. Maybe watch an uplifting video or a movie, something, not anything serious. Go to YouTube, and cats playing. Bears in swimming pools is always a good one to make me laugh. You get these, somebody's got a swimming pool and there's a family of bears decided they needed to cool off and go swimming for a day, or anything. There's so many things out there that can just lift you. Or Robin and I will put on instrumental Christmas music. And the other night, we just turned the lights off and she put her head in my lap and I had a cat next to me and the lights of the Christmas tree playing soft Christmas music. And I was like, wow, this might be heaven. This might just be heaven on earth. Or do things, and in my case, focus my attention on things that get me out of my head and that bring me joy. Because Rumi says when you do things from your soul, you feel the river moving in you, a great joy. So I just do things that bring me joy. Because being in my head is an extremely dangerous place to be. The other one is sometimes you focus out. You just focus out on other people and how can I maybe be a gift to somebody else. Tagore, who was a Hindu mystic, said, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold that service was joy. And service doesn't have to be a big thing like I'm going to go feed the homeless. I was just looking at an online newspaper, and this teacher. She's 24 years old, teaching a second grade class in Washington. And every student in the school is on free breakfast and lunch. So these are all, it's an extremely poor district. And some of the kids were giving like a Hershey kiss for a Christmas present to her. And one little girl, for her free breakfast, picked all the marshmallows out of the Lucky Charms and put them in a little baggie and gave them to her, because she says, what's a Lucky Charm without a marshmallow? And gave them to her. And it was like, that little girl gave that woman a gift of gratitude and joy and even in her poverty, seeing that the gift to someone else, she raised it. And in actuality, that little girl's gift, who no one knows who she is lifting people's hearts and souls all over the world, because I think I saw on Facebook she has like 30 million hits on this thing or some such nonsense. So today we're going to focus on simply making choices to be joyful. To remember that if we set an intention in our mind and we imagine ourselves to be joyful, if we act joyful, we will be joyful. So I'm going to have Z come up here for a moment, and she's going to get you all to stand up, I'm guessing.
Hello, family.
Handheld.
Hello, family. How are you? I just want to say how grateful I am to hear a whole message on joy. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
It makes me happy. But the thing that makes me happiest of all, and we do this in the yoga class, is to hear a baby laugh. So let's just all start. I see some unhappy babies out there. Come on. Thank you.
All right. So with that laughter of a child, with that joy that we feel in our heart, I'm going to invite John Gage up here, and I'm going to invite everybody on their feet who can. If you're not able, stay seated, but otherwise I'm going to invite everybody to stand up. Come on, that's everybody. John? And I'm going to invite the whole music team up to help them. And when I told John, or actually I told Phil to tell John I wanted this song, John's remark was, I never in my wildest dreams would have expected that you were going to play this song in church, but what the heck? We're unity. We never do what we're expected.
Yeah. I'm a believer now.
Praise God, yes.
You converted me.
Yes. There is another miracle. Okay.
Yes. All right. It's already a standing ovation. That's amazing. Yeah. That is amazing. Jeremiah was a bullfrog who was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. And he always had some mighty fine wine, singing joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. If I were the king of the world, tell you what I'd do. Throw away the cars and the bars and the wars and make sweet love to you. Yes, I'd make sweet love to you. Singing joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. You know I love the ladies, do my having my fun. I'm a high night flyer and a rainbow rider, a straight shooting son of a gun. I'm a straight shooting son of a gun, singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me, singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me, singing joy to the world. Everybody, all the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you. Sing it till we believe it now. Here we go. Joy to the. Let me hear you. All the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me, singing joy to the world. Woo! All the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and at least one more time now. Joy to the world. Joy, the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and one more time, acapella, here we go. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Selfishly, one more time for me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me.
And as an added bonus, unless he's leaving, never mind.
That's what you got about love about unity. You never know what to expect when you come in. We're liable to do anything, and that's the truth of it. And now as our ushers come forward to share our gifts, we take them in our hands and infuse them with our love. And say our prosperity proclamation together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And if you're joining us online, please go to our website, unityoflouisville.org, to make a donation. And we are blessed by your gifts. And now, as we send these gifts out into the world, we do so with the intention of love and joy for every being, every soul on the planet. And we live in gratitude and say thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is. Today, the Natural Healing Group will be meeting downstairs, so you can join them for some healing work. Our community meeting is on January the 20th, and this is a special meeting in which the community will be voting on the possibility of moving. So if you are not going to be here on January the 20th and you are a member and you want to put in an absentee ballot, they are downstairs on the welcome desk, and you can complete one and turn it in to either myself or Rev Ray. If you are not a member and want to become a member, there are applications downstairs on the welcome desk, and you need to do that before the second Monday in January so that the board can accept them. Other things we have going on, as you know, Wednesday nights, we have a new program coming up called Spiritual Kaleidoscope, and it's going to start the evening off with prayer and meditation at 5. Then we'll have simple supper, which is soup and bread, and at 6, and then at 7 we'll start the various service. And the first one on January the 2nd is crystal bowls, or singing bowls, and you can either come in and just relax in the sound healing, or you can bring your bowl in and participate in that way. And if you don't have one, you can come in and play one that we have here. So just know that there are many options in this new experience of spirituality that we are creating here. And so I invite each and every one of you to come to that. Take your bulletin. We have a lot going on, and join us for the various things. And now, if everyone will stand for a prayer for protection, and know that our chaplains and oneness blessers will be here after the service in the front to pray with you. Now together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Oh, and we have the candlelight service tomorrow night at 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Phil. You're welcome. 5 o'clock, candlelight, right here.
Namaste, y'all.